So we're going to move on to a new chapter in the book and a new era. It's called the Industrial Society. And this is John Rockefeller, who was born in 1839 and died in 1937. He's one of this group of men who are sometimes called by older historians the captains of industry. Um, but he was a very famous figure even in his era as a businessman and as the founder of Standard Oil and the largest, most important person in the beginning of the oil industry in the United States, and then as well as the world. Okay, so Rockefeller, like I said, founded Standard Oil. He actually began his life as an assistant bookkeeper. He went to business school, enrolled in a business school at and took courses at a commercial college. Um, and to his credit, Rockefeller also was a strong abolitionist and against slavery when he was a young man. So now, as many years had passed since then, he went into business as a businessman, and that was his goal. He went to school to be a businessman, and he became fabulously successful. Um, Back at the time of the war, he had strongly supported Lincoln. But now, at an older age, after his bookkeeping job, he started his own business as a wholesale food company. He didn't start as an oil man. And he ran wholesale food, and he judged correctly that food industry was very important because, like we've seen in other things in the Wild West and things, how important more and more people would move in and need jobs and move into houses or apartments or ranches, and then food was needed, and so ranching and cattle and all kinds of things. Food was a booming business. Um, Farming was a booming business, also people to get their vegetables and their wheat. So he chose that, and he made some money doing that. And then after successfully doing that, he sold his business. And he took he took that money and he built oil refineries because he guessed that oil was going to become the big coming boom. So he was correct, and oil became one of the biggest industries in the United States. And so he took his money and then he built the Standard Oil Company, which was the largest oil company in the world. And then he became fabulously rich, one of the richest men in the world. Um, and during this kind of industrial revolution of the era, he became an extremely wealthy man. People moved to the cities for jobs. They moved. Some of these people who lived in the country or on farms, some came in to work in the cities, and worked in factories and worked at the oil company. So a lot of jobs were provided, but at the same time, he was providing oil for heat. And this is, of course, even before the car was invented. Now, later, when the car was invented, oil was even going to become more in demand. At this point, it was in demand for food and not for food, for heat, for cooking, and things like that. And then would come machinery fueled by oil, and then not just lamps and flames, but then automobiles. So it just continued to grow. One of Rockefeller's um, quotes is, "Try to turn every disaster into an opportunity." I guess he believes if something went wrong, you should find a new angle. And apparently, he knew how to make the right moves. He turned like it says again, every disaster into an opportunity. So I think we can all relate to that with challenges that we face. Um, so so that's John Rockefeller, who became he went from a businessman to being uh, a famous and very wealthy leader of the oil industry and the owner of Standard Oil. And he was known for doing philanthropy too, like charity work, and and certainly his company supplied a lot of jobs um, and needed oil for the country. So it's very much a part of economic history too.